Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, so it's time for another video. So this time I'm going to be talking about why a film is my favourite. And now we're going into a category of Star Wars movies today, guys. And my favourite Star Wars movie, if you're not read the title or you haven't seen the picture yet, is Return of the Jedi, the sixth film in the series and the final film of the original trilogy. So here are the top 10 reasons why it's my favourite, and guys, this is my opinion. So yeah, if you disagree with me, that's fine. And I respect your opinion. So yeah, but here is why I like it. So first reason would be the conclusion. I really love how the movie wrapped up the stories of all the heroes. Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie and Lando, and the entire sequence at the end with everyone dancing happily and seeing the planets all celebrating with fireworks. It was perfect. And when people ask me what I think is perfect ending of Star Wars, I'd say it's this. Even though it's now 37 years old, I still consider Return of the Jedi's ending to be the perfect ending of the Skywalker saga. That's my opinion. Number 2 would be John Williams' soundtrack. He, as well as including familiar tracks from the previous movies, I love how he introduced new music for this, such as music related to Jabba the Hutt, for example. And also on the Sarlacc pit battle, that was amazing. And plus as well, I love how he gave us a theme tune for the Emperor. Such a scary theme tune. Might not be as impactful as the Imperial March, because that's my favourite villain song. But the Emperor's theme was an amazing addition to the film. Now, speaking of the Emperor, this leads on to my third reason, being I love the entire introduction to the Emperor. The Empire Strikes Back gave us a really great hint to him with his appearance talking to Vader on the hologram. And we get to see him in his full glory here, played by the legendary Ian McDiarmid. And Ian really nailed the role in his first time as a character, chronologically, because The Empire Strikes Back, Ian was filmed in 2004, wasn't it? This was in 1983. And yeah, Ian nailed it, and I love how they gave him his throne room on a tower in the second Death Star. It was really amazing, and seeing what amazing abilities he has, such as his lightning, and yeah, his entire sequence talking to Luke and convincing him to join him was amazing. I really loved that. Now, my fourth reason would be Jabba's palace. I love how we got it. After we briefly saw Jabba in A New Hope, we finally got to see more of him and seeing how sinister he is as one of the most dangerous crime lords in the galaxy. And I love how we also got to see lots of different types of aliens in his palace. That was really nice. I really liked seeing that. And it was so epic as well, the sequence with Luke fighting his Rancor. And also, I already mentioned before, the battle on the Sarlacc pit on his barge was also really good. One of the best parts of the film, in my opinion. Now, my fifth reason would probably be Lando Calrissian getting to play a bigger role. Because in The Empire Strikes Back, while he was amazing for his first appearance, it's a shame that he only appeared like 3/4 into a movie, didn't he? Like over an hour into a movie. Whereas here, I like how he plays a much larger role and has more screen time, such as by helping the heroes rescue Han Solo from Jabba. And also, of course, later on plays a very important role, which is piloting the Millennium Falcon and destroying the second Death Star. So I like how they gave him a much more, important role. In a way, that was really good. Now, my sixth reason has to be the wrapping up of Yoda's story. Because, we already met Yoda in Empire Strikes Back and he trained Luke. And this movie did a great job, finishing that, Yoda was, in a way, passing the torch to Luke to become the new Grand Master of the Jedi. And it was a really beautiful moment in the film, and it still makes me sad seeing him becoming one with the Force to this day when I rewatch the film. So yeah, and once again, Frank Oz, he was a legend as Yoda, and he still is. Now, my seventh reason has to be Luke versus Vader on the Death Star. Compared to a fight in The Empire Strikes Back, I think this was a really improved rematch, if you will, because, of course, Luke is now more experienced compared to how he was in The Empire Strikes Back. And I like how, compared to Empire Strikes Back, they do more stunts in a way, because Luke kicks Vader down the stairs, and also Luke does a backflip onto a platform, so he's on the high ground. And of course, we also got to see Vader do it with a new ability, which is to throw his lightsaber, so we can see what other amazing abilities he has in him, which we've not seen him do before. So I did like that. So yeah, and of course, it was also a really great, way to confront the dark side. And in my opinion, guys, I know that there's a sequel trilogy after this, but if you ask me, I consider this fight between Luke and Vader the true final duel of the Skywalker saga, and that's my opinion. So my 8th reason has to be how we've got 2 dramas happening with Death Star 2. So what I mean by that is, I like how compared to A New Hope, where all we get is the space battle between the X-Wings and the TIE Fighters to destroy the first Death Star. I like how we've got a similar thing happening here, but this time we've got more spaceships, such as the Falcon, for example, and several other Rebel ships. But I also like how, as well as that, inside the Death Star, we've got, Luke confronting the dark side one last time. So I did like that, how we've got more drama happening in the Death Star, inside the Death Star, compared to A New Hope, where all we see is, Vader preparing to take his shuttle, and also Tarkin ordering the Death Star to fire on Yavin 4. So I like how the Death Star's inside got a bigger role with Luke confronting the dark side. My next reason, my number 9th reason why Return of the Jedi is my favourite, is also because I like how it explains why Ben and Kenobi told a lie to Luke in A New Hope that Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker, where he explains here that the dark side of the Force took over and literally did destroy Anakin Skywalker. So what he did tell Luke was true, from a certain point of view. So I'm glad that it clarified that, because I was confused as to why, Ben didn't tell him, like how Luke says at the end of Empire Strikes Back, after he's found out that Darth Vader is his father. And then, the number 1 reason why Return of the Jedi is my favourite Star Wars movie is this: Anakin's redemption. Because when I was a kid, I was really... in the sequence where the Emperor's torturing Luke with lightning and he's on the brink of killing him, I was really scared we'd lose Luke. But in that moment, when Anakin came back and he threw the Emperor down the hole, I freaked out when I was a kid. And that, in my opinion, guys, is my favourite scene in Star Wars history. It really is. The duel before was amazing, even though my favourite duel in Star Wars is Anakin vs. Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. But this scene has to be my favourite in Star Wars. It was so unexpected, and it was perfect how, you could see the conflict in Vader deciding between good and evil, and then he decides to save his son at the last moment, like a reverse of when he turns to the dark side by killing Mace Windu to save Palpatine from death in Revenge of the Sith. I really love that. And as well, guys, if you were to ask me, which death of the Emperor do I consider is true, I consider this death where he's thrown down the whole canon. That's what I consider. I consider that his true ending, because it makes Anakin Skywalker's sacrifice have a purpose, doesn't it? And yet it did really have a purpose here, because he brought balance to the Force, because he is the chosen one. So he brought the balance back. Yeah. So, guys, these are the 10 reasons why Return of the Jedi is my favourite Star Wars film. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, so be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of Return of the Jedi, and also tell me, guys, what your favourite Star Wars movie is in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your favourite Star Wars movie is, and also why it's your favourite. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos coming in the future, and I will see you all later.